by the club like Santa, where history calls. Two old souls with so much to say. Fred and Mario, they hang every day, teaching lessons you can't learn in class, about life, love, and times that pass. Oh, the wisdom they bring. You can read all the books you want, study till your mind goes numb, but the truth lies in the streets below, where Fred and Mario show you what they know. The wisest guys don't need no history books. They got knowledge that the teachers overlook. Every evening by the Alamo, Fred and Mario let their wisdom flow. Let it flow, let it flow.
En las calles San Antonio, donde las historias fluyen como el río. Two men sharing what they've seen, making sense of everything in between. No necesitas un profesor, but street wisdom opens every door.
That's right, that's right. You can search through every page, try to understand every age, but the truth comes from the soul of those who watch this city grow. Wisest guys don't need no history books. They got knowledge that the teachers overlook. Every evening by the Alamo, Fred and Mario let their wisdom flow. Let it flow.
Listen up, let me break it down for you. Fred taught me more than any classroom ever could do, about respect, integrity, and keeping it real, while Mario showed me how survival feels. They speak about struggles, victories, and pride, stories of people who lived and died by these mission walls where heroes fell, but the real heroes got different stories to tell. Some folks think wisdom comes from degrees, but these wise guys got PhDs in these streets. Every word they speak hits harder than facts, about community, unity, and having each other's backs. Y'all can keep your textbooks in your fancy schools. These men right here follow different rules, living history, breathing right before my eyes. That's why I say these are the wisest guys.
Oh, sometimes the greatest teachers don't stand behind no desk. Sometimes the deepest knowledge comes from the streets of the West.
One last time.
Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling seas. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Black Life Texas News Magazine, your go-to source for informative, creative, and engaging news. With 85 convenient locations throughout San Antonio, Black Life Texas News Magazine brings you the latest updates on politics, social justice, culture, entertainment, and more. From thought-provoking articles to inspiring profiles, we cover the topics that matter most to you. Stay informed, connected, and inspired with our in-depth analysis and coverage of critical issues affecting the Black community. But we don't stop there. Black Life Texas News Magazine is your guide to upcoming events, festivals, and exhibitions that celebrate African American heritage and promote unity. Don't miss another copy. Subscribe today for convenient home delivery. Get your hands on Black Life Texas News Magazine and be part of the conversation that matters most to our community. Black Life Texas.
Going to start with the mayor's race, actually mayor's race and District 2 race coming up on, is it May 6th, I believe, or May 3rd? It's coming up real soon. So, Mario, you're the expert. Tell us about the mayor's race.
Well, there's too many people in it for one. For starters, 27 people. You know, I don't get, when you look at the names and they're like, no one recognizes their names. I'm wondering about why they do this in the first place. Other than, I don't know, to sell a book, to brag about it to their grandkids. You know, it doesn't make any sense, because if you're not really thinking or wanting to win, it just makes you wonder why they're even doing this to begin with.
Especially so look, five blacks.
27 people in the race, and according to the polls that I've been looking at, there's only really, at this point, now keep in mind the poll is only about 700 people that were polled, but that's a good number because we're 27 people in it. There's a runoff for sure. And so that number, although it's maybe, you might say it's kind of small, I don't think it's kind of small, because a runoff is looming, number one. And number two, there's a large number of people that are undecided. It's a huge number. And primarily because people don't recognize none of these names. This is like, you know, somebody throwing a bunch of fish in a barrel and you pick the one you want. So I think that number of 700 polled is a fairly decent number given what we're in. And what one poll carried out by the university is showing that Gina Ortiz Jones is in the lead with about 13%. And that makes sense to me. I mean, she ran national campaigns and so forth. And so probably her name rings a bell with most people as opposed to all those other names. And then we got at least two Republicans, at least two black Republicans in the race. And, you know, San Antonio is a blue city, and I don't see us changing to a red one anytime soon. So the two Republican guys, they're black, by the way, that are running out, they don't have a chance, no man's chance in hell. So I'm not, at least I'm not there with them. And any person of color that's with the Republican Party has to be sick, insane, and out of their damn mind. But anyway, so Gina Ortiz Jones is like there, 13%. That's pretty high at this initial stage, only 3 days into early voting. And and then right behind her is Beto Altamirano, along with John Courage, and they're both there. I thought Manny Pelaez might be doing a little better. He's not. He's at about anywhere between 3 to 5%, given the margin of error and so forth. But And then everybody else below that is 1% or less. So, so what's that mean? 27 people? Well, that means 23 of them are going to get kicked right out the door real quick. They won't make the runoff. They won't really have much say-so in throwing their support behind the mayor in one way or the other because they don't have enough votes to make it much of a difference. Plus, they have no name recognition. I mean, in San Antonio, name recognition means maybe more than in other places. It means a lot. If they don't recognize your name, Fred, well, you know what I mean. People are saying, "Well, who the heck is that?" They don't know who you are. So, John Courage has a record, and somebody said he might be a MAGA. I've never heard him be. He's not a MAGA, as far as I can tell.
Make America Great Again?
John Courage, MAGA, a Trump a MAGA supporter.
Oh, I can't see Courage.
MAGA, Make America Dumb. I mean, Great Dumb Again. And so John Courage is in there, and so is the Beto guy. But at the moment, and look, you know how polls are. They're only good for the day they were taken. So that means tomorrow that polls may change for the better for Gina Jones or for the worse, or for the better for the other three in the race. So the way it looks right now, there's only 4 people in the race. The others are they might want to tap out now. They don't have the money, and they don't have the signs. They don't have the visibility. And if nobody knows your name and you don't even have any campaign signs, I mean, I'm looking at some of these names of people that are running. I haven't seen, some of them don't even have one campaign sign. And some of them have one and that's it. So, and look, signs don't vote. But let me tell you, when people see a bunch of signs, they know you're serious. No signs, that's like, yeah, you're a gadfly. You're just running to be running. You're not a serious candidate. So that's the way it looks to me at the moment. Of course, it may change. You know, I may have a different report next Wednesday. So, but it looks like Gina Ortiz Jones is in the lead at the moment.
How do you feel about that? Do you have
from what I gather, she ran a decent campaign before. She runs against Republicans, and she seems like a decent person. I wasn't too keen on her riding down the street on a motorcycle when she ran, but at the time I know, if you live in a district that's maybe split with a Republican and Democrat or a high number of Republicans, you might want to look like a tough girl, so that they're into that frowning up and making ugly faces and it's just craziness stuff. But her policies have not been bad, so I don't know. John Courage's policies haven't been bad either locally because he's on the city council. I mean, that other city councilman, Perry, what he was convicted of DWI and all that. I don't even know why he's running. He's still sober. I don't know. Why the heck is he running? He don't have a chance as a snowman in hell. And snowmen in hell would melt kind of quick, I think. So, we'll have to see what happens. District 2, though, Fred, is another matter.
What do you think about the District 2?
Well, District 2, at least the way I see it right now, Jalen Rodriguez is the winner. None of the other people that are running, they don't have name recognition. Jalen hasn't done anything bad. I mean, he hasn't been caught in the park, smoking weed. He hasn't done anything bad. You can make the argument maybe he hasn't done as much as everybody would like, but you could say that about any politician. So I think he's got it. I think he's going to win it. He might win it without a runoff. Of course, that's only the way it looks at the moment. Only at the moment. Might change next week, but I think he's got it. I don't see any other candidates having much of a chance at all.
How about the young lady who got the police union's support?
The Cisco?
Cisco.
Yeah, well, she rubbed a lot of people in the Black community the wrong way when she picked up the support of the San Antonio Police Officers Association, and we all know about them. They believe in getting bad cops off the hook.
Yeah.
And it's in many cases, SAPOA endorsements is a death sentence over in District 2, especially when we have to concern ourselves with police brutality. And not all cops are bad. That's absolutely true. Most of them are not. But you got that at least 10% of them should have never been cops in the first place. They beat somebody up, they do something really horrible, then they go get that union, which I don't like to even call it a union. They go get, and then they get outside arbitrators, Fred. And then these people from Connecticut, Pulaski, wherever they come from, they come into San Antonio, and then they make a decision that the cop was, he's not a bad guy. He was just having a bad day. And that's the kind of stuff they do.
And the decision is binding.
And the police, the union allows these bad cops to keep on going.
Yeah.
So if Miss Cisco got their endorsement, I'm sure she did, she can kiss it goodbye.
Why would she do that?
Money. When I ran for city council, Fred, I didn't want the endorsement of the SAPOA, and they do it. And the firefighters endorse me, which is a more neutral, kind of group. Firefighters protect everybody, and they haven't sprayed any folks with high pressure hoses like in Mississippi back in the 1960s. The firefighters, they endorsed me, and I won that election despite the police union going against me. But what they do is they supply money. That's why she would do it. They supply block walkers and phone bankers and all that kind of stuff. And so people that don't have much of a chance, they jump on that right away because they don't have the money to carry that kind of a campaign out.
I wonder why they didn't support the incumbent.
Good question. Other than I think I know, there's been several Black Lives Matter events, and Jalen Rodriguez has come to those. They did a portrait. There's a portrait on the east side of all the black and brown people that have been illegally killed by San Antonio police officers. And of course, Councilman Rodriguez was at that unveiling of those portraits. And he's been supportive. He's against bad cops. And I think that's why they weren't going to go with him.
Okay. Well, there's a movement, I understand it, out of Washington, D.C., that they want to, as you know, the Republicans control the majority of the states. Now they want to move down into local government, city council, mayor, even school boards. They want to control everything. Mm-hmm. Trump wants to own everything. And so I don't know if it's true, but there's a rumor that the governor and Rick Perry are supporting one of the candidates that's running with their backing. So that's almost like bringing MAGA. If he wins, that's like bringing MAGA into San Antonio.
Hey, do we have to take a break?
Oh, okay. We're almost there.
Yeah, okay. Well, let me get on
the
phone.
When I came back from the war, I was barely hanging on by a thread. I'm here today because of Tanya's relentless efforts in trying to get me healed. And says, Michael, I know you've got a plan to take your life today, but if you give me just 5 more minutes to love you.
5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, honey, 5 more minutes to love.
Michael has actually taught me what it looks like to accept help.
The bravest person I know is definitely my dad, 100%.
My friend Sean.
My daughter Cynthia, and she was in the United States Army.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
Our journey has not been easy.
One of the bravest things he did was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me places to stay.
When he decided he was going to go back to school after 23 years.
It was the better part of my life that I spent in the Marine Corps. Transitioning out, it's a difficult thing.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
So I really appreciate it.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
Black Life Texas News Magazine, your go-to source for informative, creative, and engaging news. With 85 convenient locations throughout San Antonio, Black Life Texas News Magazine brings you the latest updates on politics, social justice, culture, entertainment, and more. From thought-provoking articles to inspiring profiles, we cover the topics that matter most to you. Stay informed, connected, and inspired with our in-depth analysis and coverage of critical issues affecting the Black community. But we don't stop there. Black Life Texas News Magazine is your guide to upcoming events, festivals, and exhibitions that celebrate African American heritage and promote unity. Don't miss another copy. Subscribe today for convenient home delivery. Get your hands on Black Life Texas News Magazine and be part of the conversation that matters most to our community. Black Life Texas.
Okay, we are back. So, Mario, we're talking about the influence of MAGA through this Republican candidate that's running for mayor. Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, and you're right. There's a national effort on the part to go into, especially in red states, to go into red states and find blue cities.
Right.
Yeah, and then attack or run candidates who in many cases don't even have a chance of winning, but just field candidates anyway in the hope that something might change. So what they're trying to do, and I agree with what you said before the break, that they're running people for school boards, for city council. We got at least 2 Republicans running for city council. And so what they have a problem with blue cities. I mean, we got some strong blue cities: Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, Houston, and oftentimes the mayors of these towns or the city councils or whatever they are totally opposed to Trump and MAGA.
Right.
So yeah, even though Texas is a red state, at least 4 or 5 cities, and well, probably more, but at least those big ones are blue cities. And gosh, it's got to be a thorn in their side. So you're right. They're trying to run people in every blue city they can find in the hope that they might win it. It's looking more and more likely that that's a losing cause, especially since Republicans are turning against them as well.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I think they probably need to go on and put on a different thinking cap, because I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah, they're really turning against this whole MAGA group and Trump. And so that kind of segues us into our next discussion here. And that is, how is the president doing in the polls? And I have some statistics here for you. If I could get, there we go. Okay, Trump's approval rating. His approval 44%, his disapproval 51%. Okay.
I love it.
Yeah. Trump's handling of the federal government workforce, approval 44%, disapproval 53%.
Whopping.
Trump's handling, okay, now this is interesting, because he ran on, cleaning up immigration, getting everything straight and doing that. And so this is something that he takes pride in. But look at the polls. His approval rating is 45% and disapproval rating 50%.
Oh boy, they might have got their belt out and started whooping them.
Oh, here's another one. I love this one. Remember, he's gonna solve inflation, high prices in a day. The next day it would be all over. So look at how he's rated in handling inflation. Approval 37%, disapproval 60%.
My goodness. Yeah, what happened to the eggs?
Yeah, really. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to be eating 3 or 4 eggs for breakfast right now and not paying $1 a piece for them.
Okay, this is really a good one also. Trump's tariffs effect on prices. Check that out. 75% say his tariffs will increase the cost and cause inflation. And only 6% say that it will decrease. Now that was supposed to be a stronghold too. So he's taking a beating in the polls right now. And I don't know. And of course, now the Supreme Court has started to take him on that, dealing with that young man in Maryland. So you're right. Maybe coming here to run for mayor on his coattails may not be too wise.
No, not in a blue city.
Yeah. It may start happening in a red city. And it looks like we may have a great chance of taking the House of Representatives back in 2026. It's looking better all the time. And I think one of the first things that's going to happen to him, if the Democrats get the House, I think Al Green has already wanted to introduce impeachment. But it's not going to go anywhere with the Republicans right now. Mm-hmm. So I don't think those polls speak highly for our president right now. And I have to say, I am not bothered at all by those polls. Oh, by the way, one other thing I want to talk about is China. China is kicking his butt. He thought that he was going to bully China, and those folks said, no way. And like he went up to 145% in tariff, they went to 125%. Now, businesses in this country are starting to complain that it's going to hurt them. It's going to cause inflation. And of course, the Wall Street is really up and down based on what he's doing. So it doesn't look good. What do you think, Mario?
China. Yeah. Look, let me do this, Fred. China. So, I mean, if that wasn't foolish on his part, it's just foolishness. He doesn't know what he's doing. I guess, I don't know, he was pampered too much as a kid. He never had to work a day in his life.
That's right. Yeah.
He inherited all that money from his daddy. So he's just like a kid in a pair of diapers who's just gone berserk. And, so you can't put that kind of tariff strategy on the second biggest economy in the world. You're going to lose that fight. And I think he's already recognized he's going to lose it. So now he's going to do a lot of backpedaling, as we say down here in the South, crawfishing. He's going to be moving backwards like crayfish do, and then claiming he's not. He's really good at not telling the truth. So that's my thinking. I mean, I'm looking at all this stuff on my desktop here. China. I got a phone holder case the other day. China. If you go to Walmart, almost everything in there. They're
strong Trump supporters. The Waltons. They're very strong.
I'm sure they made some phone calls. What are you?
I know they did.
What are you doing, Donald?
Well, maybe for the first time he'll listen and back off those tariffs, because that is not a winner for him.
No.
And I understand on some of the emails and everything in China, they're calling him. They said he chickened out. Now I know it rubs this racist man to have Chinese talking about him like that. I know it rub him the wrong way. So
he might have drug off his white sheets out of the closet after he heard that.
Yeah, he really, yeah. And talking along those lines, about racism and what's happening, I want to talk a little bit, Mario, about Frisco, Texas. There was a track meet in Frisco, Texas, and there were two high schools there. One was Memorial High School and one was Centennial High School. Now, it was rainy, it was real bad weather, so they both had tents so that people could get under the tents. All right, so Carmela Anthony, young black kid, goes under the Memorial tent, which is not his tent. His tent would have been over at Centennial High School. So this athlete, Austin Metcalf, confronts Carmelo and says, "Hey man, you're in the wrong tent. Go over to your tent." And Carmelo says, "If you touch me, you'll be sorry," essentially is what he's saying. Mm-hmm. So evidently, he challenged Austin, and I this black white thing. I can see the black kid. You get into that whole macho kind of BS, and so Austin's not going to let Carmelo challenge him like that. So he pushed him. Carmelo pulled out a knife from his backpack, stabbed him in the chest, hit his heart, killed him. Mm-hmm. And so then Carmelo runs off, tosses the knife aside, and is immediately captured. And he says that I did it, but I was protecting myself. Mm-hmm. Now that's this black white thing is causing all kinds of hell in that town. Mm-hmm. Even Carmelo's parents are getting threatened, and all this other stuff. Right. The original bond, they charged Carmelo with first-degree murder. His bond was $1 million. So there's a black judge came along and reduced it to $250,000. They are moving forward for a grand jury to get the indictment, but the charges right now are first-degree murder. Now, there's a lot to this that, man, I want to be with the young brother. I'll be honest with you. I want to be with the young brother. But, why is this kid carrying a knife? Why is he carrying a knife to a track meet? And I mean, the best thing, he's in the other team's tent. And he had to know he was in the wrong tent, Mario. He had to do it deliberately.
Was it raining outside, you said?
It was raining. It was really raining bad that day. And so when the other kid, the white kid, says, "Hey, you're in the wrong tent. Why don't you go to your tent?" He says, "If you touch me, you'll be sorry." Mm-hmm. So he challenged the white kid. He bought the challenge, which was ridiculous. Now, I wonder if that white kid had known he had a knife, he would have come after him. Mm-hmm. See, that's something he didn't know.
Well, here's some. See, let me, if I can, let me throw this in the mix.
Yes.
Let's just suppose you were in the wrong tent, and I'm the white guy. Let's just suppose that.
Okay.
I come over to you. There's several ways that I could have said, "Hey, man, I think y'all's tent is over there, and it's raining pretty hard. You might want to hang out here for a while, but maybe you got in this tent by mistake. But just to let you know, it's raining. Don't go out now. Or did that kid come to Carmelo Anthony like this? "Hey, man, you're in the wrong tent." I mean, you see what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I need to know how he came at him.
Right.
And I don't know, Fred, I don't know anything about Frisco, whatever, Texas.
It's north of Dallas. It's a very, very wealthy community. They're well off up there.
Is there a lot of racist people there? White supremacists there? I don't know.
Well, they're coming out of the woodwork now because they've threatened Carmelo's parents. They sent something, I guess, emails showing a bunch of black kids with knives in their head and all this stuff. And the parents have had to ask for police protection. They can't go. They're not safe to go out of their house right now. And what the media down there is doing is they're painting the white kid as like a saint. All 4-point average student, captain of the football team. Just a great guy. Just a great guy. They're painting the black kid Carmelo as a thug.
Yeah.
As a thug, carried a knife.
Given what you just said, Fred, about all these Nazis popping out of the woodwork, it may be why he was carrying a knife, because he lives in a community with a bunch of idiots. So that and I don't know that's true. I'm just a hypothetical guess. It certainly looks like that's a community filled with white supremacists.
Well, they're coming out of the woodwork now.
Yeah.
But why would this kid? I mean, his life is over.
Yeah.
His life is over. Those white folks up there are going to give him. They want life, first degree murder. They want life. I don't think it's going to be that. But his life is over. He's only 17 years old. I mean, what? Why? Why?
You know, I'd like Ben Crump to get a hold of this and actually look at the history of what Carmelo Anthony had been going through prior to this specific incident. I mean, was it being called the N-word on the track field? How many times was he called the N-word in his life in that little small town? And by the way, don't get his name mixed up with the basketball player.
I know, don't. Yeah.
He spelled his name with a K. Carmelo Anthony, the basketball player, spelled it with a C. So don't get them mixed up. But I mean, I would like to know the history of what he has already had to bear as a young black man in a town that's obviously one of those small towns they're talking about. They're talking about you don't have problems like this in small towns, like that country and western singer used to say. Yeah, well, you do. And apparently there's a lot of racism in this town. And I'd like to know to what extent he may have suffered from that racism. He didn't have to carry it that far. So I agree with you, Fred. He didn't have to carry it that far. He could have just, said, hey, well, I'm moving to get the heck out of my face and walk
out. Yeah.
And so it does make me wonder how that kid came at him. Hey, you're in the wrong tent, punk. I mean, where are the witnesses to say how he came at him?
And the only witness is the kid's twin brother. Austin, twin brother. So you know how he's going to report
it. That ain't no witness.
Yeah, yeah. On the side, I was watching Roland Martin did a piece on this, and he pointed out, one of his guests pointed out that, well, that's Texas. What can you expect? Mario, I get tired of these folks in the North putting down Texas. So I'd like to send Roland Martin a little thing saying, New York, you gave us Trump. New York, you had a killer go into a grocery store in Buffalo and shoot up a number of black people. So racism is all over. It's not just here in Texas, it's all over. So,
Yeah, George Floyd got killed up north, almost up north.
Killed, by the police. Yeah, so
Minnesota.
Stop picking on Texas.
Racist incidents in Minnesota. Ain't nobody clean. I don't know what they do.
That's right. And that's the point. Nobody's clean. So Roland Martin and the rest of these guys should lay off Texas and, look in the mirror and before you jump on other folks. Yeah. But so I guess they're going to be getting a grand jury together and this kid's going to be indicted. What charges they're going to bring right now, I think the district attorney wants first-degree murder. If they did that, if they gave that kid first-degree murder, that means he could probably never look to get out of prison. And he's
and you're right, Fred. And the injustice might be, when I think about this, and I think Roland Martin also might have mentioned it, when you think about Kyle Rittenhour shooting people at that demonstration in the back, and he got nothing happened to him. Matter of fact, somebody sent him $1 million, or a bunch of people sent him a whole bunch of money. He was a 17-year-old, if I remember right.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing, we mentioned money. They have raised $400,000 for Anthony's defense. Oh man, those people are going crazy. Who in the world will give money for this kid? He's a murderer. He's a thug. That's coming out also.
So is Donald Trump, for that matter.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we'll be following that closely, I guess, for our next show. Oh, by the way, the election day for the mayor is May 3rd, Saturday, May 3rd.
Early voting going on now.
And the early voting's going on right now. So get out and vote. It's important that you do vote, but try to vote the right way.
There you go.
I'm not going to say any more than that. So any closing remarks, Mario, for today's show?
No, like I said, we'll see. Maybe by next week when we do our show again, come back on the air next week, we'll have some more numbers as far as the mayor's race goes and all that. But as I said, at least 25, 23 people that are running, they'll be gone real soon. They won't make the runoff. They won't even be a factor in the runoff. They can go home and you can vote for whoever you want. But I'm just being pragmatic about it. Mm-hmm. There's only 4 people that can really win this race. It's not a matter of it's anybody's race. I don't think so. Not at this point.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mario. So that's about it for this show, folks. We will see you next week at the same time. In the meantime, we are telling our story our way at the Wise Guys.
At Black Video News, BVN.news.
.news. Yes, that's true. Okay. See y'all next week.